What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Full Circle Podcast. I am your host, Joel White, aka Coach Joel, aka whatever social media platform you found me on. Um, Welcome back to episode 2. We're back, which is crazy. I never thought I'd be doing a podcast, but here I am, and we're on episode number 2. Feeling better than we did last time, which is good. Just keep building. Um, Production wise, I'm still looking for guests. I think I have a couple homies of mine that I'm gonna probably bring on the podcast as regulars. We're just looking right now. We got to get some mics and stuff and some other production things to get that idea out. But I got some other ideas cooking and some other guest ideas cooking, and hopefully those can work out, man. But like the biggest thing right now is just gotta buy another mic, which is pretty pretty expensive, and I'm waiting on this other piece in the mail that, like, connects mics, whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, anyway, let's hop right into the episode, man. I think starting now, at least every solo episode I do, I want to do if you came from my TikTok or my Instagram, every time I post a workout video, I post a Bible quote in the comment or the caption for the post. So I think starting now, every episode I'm gonna just break into it real quick. Just give it a minute or two, break into the Bible quote, and just break it down. I think, uh, I'm pretty religious. I believe in Christian faith, and I think that the Bible um, it's just a good source of philosophy. Even if you don't believe in the religion, knowledge is power, and the more you read things that you can live your life by. And I think that the Bible, even if you don't believe in the religion, is something that you could really model your life after. But anyway, let's hop into this verse. Today we're going to look into 1 Peter 3:9. And yeah, let's read. So I got my Bible right here. I'll read it off. Do not repay evil for evil or reviling for reviling, but on the contrary, bless. For to this you were called, that you may obtain a blessing. Um, yeah, I think this quote struck me as pretty deep. In life, bad things happen. Bad things happen to good people. You know, uh, I think that it's just a verse that's kind of telling you, just don't live with so much hate in your heart. It's really a not a good way to live. Spending every day waking up and just, I don't know, hating somebody or something or the situation that you're in, or even, you know hating hating yourself. And I don't think that this not only is it about hate, but it's also about living with that feeling of, like, wanting revenge in your heart, or like something like that. You know, it says, on the contrary, bless. You know, that doesn't mean give the other person $20, or devote your life to them. But sometimes to somebody that's done you wrong, the best blessing that you can give to them would just be to say nothing and just turn your back, go on about your life, and pray for them, which I know is pretty difficult. But it's something that the more you read the Bible and the more you, I don't know, I guess, kind of mature emotionally, kind of just understand that sometimes the best thing that you can do for somebody that lives like that and that does you wrong like that is to really just turn the other cheek and walk away and pray for them. Um, Kind of want to go into that last part, that you may obtain a blessing. Obviously, I believe in this instance with the Bible. It refers to eternal life, but it can also just be referred to as good karma. You do things, you do something good for someone, you're gonna get something good in return. I believe that there's some form of karma out there, where if you do good, then good gets done onto you. So I just, yeah, I think that the more the more good you do, the kinder you are, um, the less you live with hate and resentment in your heart. You know, the more peace that you'll have personally, and yeah, that's really all I got for that. Let's transition into some talking points now. Um, so I want to get into addressing the first episode, which I thought it was good. I thought the first episode you could tell, like, even in the beginning. I mean, it was my first time sitting here talking to a camera in my room by myself, so it was a little difficult. It still is a little difficult. You know, I'm still learning, still trying to get that down. But yeah, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought. Just sitting in your room, bullshitting and just talking to yourself the whole time. Uh, your mouth gets dry. I know some people that I talked to personally about the podcast. They said that the cup was a little interesting that I was drinking water of. But man, you try to sit here for 30 minutes and you talk and your mouth gets a little dry. And I don't want to eat gum or nothing because if I eat gum, I'm just be smacking in the mic. So I don't want to do that. But we got a little upgrade. I don't have any ice in here, but we just got a little water. I'm not gonna show any brands. Not that it even probably matters, because nobody's really gonna. I guess nobody big is gonna watch this episode, but I'm not gonna show any brands till I get a brand deal. So coming soon. But yeah. Also watching the last podcast, there were a lot of things that I would start to talk about that I kind of just blew over because I went into a whole entirely different topic, which isn't bad. The episode still turned out decent that I think it did. But one of the ideas that I wanted to talk about was the workout podcast. I know I'm a big WWE fan. WrestleMania is this weekend, so I'm excited for that. But one thing that the wrestler Sheamus does is he has I don't know if it's a podcast or just like a show where it's like, he does all these different workouts, I think primarily with WWE wrestlers, and he'll interview them as they're working out. I kind of want to do that too, but podcast style, and just do someone else's workout while I interview them. I think it's an interesting idea, and I think that we could really get it going. I meet some interesting people, a lot of people in the athletic world, and then even for my TikTok and my Instagram, I'm coming up for the workout videos. I'm coming up on part 50, which is a lot of workouts. I've been using my TikTok and my Instagram since I think I started really doing it around last summer. I was pretty consistent on it last summer, and then once I started school, I was still working out, but I just wasn't recording. I was busy doing other stuff. I was busy at UNLV doing the manager stuff. I was busy at school. I was busy doing a lot of other things. But, now I feel like I can finally balance it out, which is good. So I kind of want to start that workout podcast, which would be pretty interesting, or just make it an episode of this where I just work out, either with if it's just my buddies or someone famous or something. That'd be pretty cool. I know famous people have pretty interesting workouts. I think I don't know if I could ever do a David Goggins workout, or the Diamond Gym stuff sounds interesting. I think I would try it if I ever were given the opportunity, but I don't know, we'll see. It's pretty difficult, those things. So yeah, I think and then it doesn't even have to be, I just want to try all different kinds of workouts, really, I think, for day 100 of my TikTok series with the working out, I want to do something different. I know a lot of football players. I'm not saying that would be my 100, episode 100 thing, but, something that's different. Something like Pilates, football workouts, CrossFit workouts, I heard are pretty difficult. Really any kind of workout. Hell, I even kind of want to try those the workouts that are on that you see. I see them on TikTok and Instagram all the time. It's like the people be making fun of them. Like middle-aged white women will do anything but just a regular workout, and it's like it's like bungee fitness or something like that, where they're like hanging from the bungee cords from the ceiling and like swinging around the room. I would try that for an episode. Or what's the other thing where they wear like it's like a shoe, but the bottom of it is like I don't even know. It's like kind of like a spring almost, I guess, and you kind of just like hopping around and I don't know. It sounds interesting, but I'd try it for an episode. You know, I don't think those are really rigorous workouts, but I don't know. I would like to try probably for the 100. I would like to do a pretty rigorous workout. I think like maybe like I don't know, a military workout would be pretty interesting too. You know, I've been out of shape well, I'm not even out of shape, but I've been out of definitely not in peak, or at least conditioning wise, not even anywhere close to what I was. Well, obviously when I was in college playing basketball was when I was probably the most well conditioned. But and the only reason for that is because growing up, and even in college, we did some pretty intense workouts, man. Even for my club team, I hope some of my old club teams are listening to this because they'll remember, man. I remember there was this one workout we had to do. It was every day before basketball practice. We had it was every day, and this was our warm up. You know, it was 20 suicides in 20 minutes, which is ridiculous, bro. Like, I don't even know. I mean, there were times like it would literally turn into your brain just turns off and your muscles just keep moving, and it's like especially the more I got tired, because even back then I just had this mentality like I wasn't gonna stop. I didn't want to quit, so I would just get angry. Like I would come out, I would just was like start punching the pad or something just because I was just angry because I was doing this, and then my coaches are like in my ear trying to yell and trying to motivate you. But when you're going through something like that, bro, like you just don't really want to be motivated. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta just want to do it and get it over with, just so it can be done. You know, and I remember there was another same club team. Our club team conditioning was crazy. I remember there was we used to work out at this one place. It was called D1. They got a bunch of gym locations out here. Great gyms. They had great trainers. I forgot the trainer's name at the time, but we were so me and a group of guys, they would usually have two groups go in, and so first group would go in, which at the time was me and a couple other guys, and I remember the workouts were usually pretty extreme, pretty difficult, but something about that day, I don't know why they decided to just turn it up to the max, but they did. So I remember the trainer came and he put a bucket in the middle of the floor of the whole weight room, gym, whatever, and he said, during this workout, like if you need to throw up, come throw up in the bucket and then sign your name on it afterwards. So I was like, all right. He said that and it just struck fear in me. So I was like, okay, you know, what's this workout gonna be? And honestly, I blacked out during the workout. I cannot recall. I cannot tell you what I did during the workout. I remember bits and pieces of it. I remember in the gym they had a little field, so it was like bear crawl suicides was one of them, from the 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then you're done. But we did that like 3 sets. Then it was regular suicides, and then they like incorporated weightlifting into it. You had to do something with weights, and then I just remember you had to the third set, and it was the last one. The third one, it was the treadmill, and then you had to switch over to the bike. So it was like 3 kids on the treadmill, 3 kids on the bike. And so I was on the bike pushing whatever, and then I get to the treadmill, and I'm done. Overly done. And I remember running on the treadmill. And the treadmill is one of those treadmills where you it adjusts to your pace. Like it's not like a set pace. It adjusts to your pace. And I'm running, and I'm running, I'm pumping my arms, and sweat is just flying off my arms. Like I literally, like a shower is coming down on me. I'm just running, this sweat is just flying off, getting all over the machines and stuff. And then I almost pass out. Like there was a point, like I passed out. I had to catch myself on the thing. I hit the floor and rolled off of the machine, crawled over to the bucket, threw up in the bucket, signed my name on the bucket, went to the bathroom, sat in the bathroom for the rest of the workout, and which wasn't much, but I was done. I was tapped out. My coach said I was good. I damn near crawled myself to the bathroom, sat in the bathroom while I threw up a little bit more, and yeah, that workout was that was the craziest workout I think I've ever done. Even when I went to college, we didn't do workouts worse than that. I seriously think when I went to college, a lot of colleges, when it comes to their conditioning, in terms of basketball, I don't know what football's like. A lot of it's on the track, especially during the off season. But even during the season, like it's just like 17s, 17s, couple suicides, not anything too crazy. Now the time on the 17s, I remember my first time doing 17s. If you don't know what 17s are, they're you have to run sideline to sideline. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth, all the way up till 17. Which doesn't, I guess maybe it doesn't sound that bad until you're doing it, and you have to do it in under a minute. Damn, bro, my first time doing it in under a minute, and it's one of those things where basketball coaches, they do it, and it's, if one person doesn't make it, you got to do it again. So first time I did it, I made it. It was tough, but I made it. Teammates, one or two of them didn't make it. It's all right. We got to go again. That's the thing about that, bro, is if they don't make it on the first time, what makes you think that they're going to make it on the second time or the third time or the fourth time? I think we ended up running it like 4 times. I made it the second time, but that third time, yeah, nah. It was done, man. I just remember back then, especially during the club, my years of doing club, like, dude, those 20 and 20s, those D1 workouts, those were 2-3 times a week. We even had practices. Sometimes we would practice outside at a park, and the park had a track that was about 1.5 miles. And yeah, those days were not fun, man. I remember there were days we would come at like 6 in the morning, still dark outside, the sun was not shining, and it wasn't even basketball. It was just conditioning. Like, I remember we had to run around the lake, because the park had like a little lake. So we had to run around the lake. That was usually our conditioning when we were at the park. And I remember I had a friend, and this is kind of his fault, looking back on it. Before, he had just came over to my house, and then we went to practice together. But we were hungry, so we stopped by McDonald's, and this is the time that the Shamrock Shake was out. And I guess he just loves the Shamrock Shake, so he had 2 of them right before a conditioning practice, and which was not a good idea. So we get to the park, and then our coach is like, all right, now 2 laps. That was our conditioning, which was probably about 2.5 miles in total, and you had to make it under a time limit. So we're running, and then eventually I'm running with my friend that just drank those 2 Shamrock Shakes, and he starts holding his stomach, slowing down. He's getting those cramps, and I'm not gonna stick around with him. I keep going, and a couple minutes passes. I get down with the first one. He's just over behind me on the bridge, and then I keep going, and then I finish my 2 laps, and then I get to the finish line, and then I was like probably one of the top 3 or 4 guys that were done. There were probably 2 guys ahead of me, and I remember my a couple more kids come in, and this kid comes in, he's like, yo, coach Jeremy, I won't say any names, but Jeff, he passed out and he threw up, and he's just out. on the on the concrete, and then so they go check on him, but he gets, I think he was ODing it just a little bit, and then he gets up and then he finishes, and then I just remember he came in once he crossed the finish line, just fell to the ground, and uh, I think we had practice after that too, but he did not participate. So yeah, I just remember back then, especially eating like, it was crazy to me that I could eat McDonald's before a basketball practice and then be fine during the basketball practice. And I didn't eat anything crazy. I probably had like like maybe some French fries or like a burger or something. But man, my metabolism when it came to eating food back then, it was inhuman, bro. I mean, I used to put down, dude. My like calorie maintenance was probably anywhere between, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 calories, just because I was running so much. And it wasn't even just the conditioning. Like, even when we played games, we had a really small roster, and I was on the floor we were playing 2, 3 games a day when we went to tournaments, either out here or even in California, wherever we were. And they had me on the floor pretty much the whole time. And I'm busting my ass for however long the games were, 36 minutes. And, dude, I used to put down, I remember, like, we would go out to eat. We always used to love, I was like, In-N-Out after games was pretty good. And I just remember, like, I'd play 3 games in a basketball tournament, go to In-N-Out, get 2 number ones with 2 milkshakes, put it down, and still be hungry after that. Um, it was a time, man. I miss those days because I can't I can't do that anymore, unfortunately. I think I don't know. I mean, I went on a little diet when I was in the month of February. It wasn't anything crazy. I just wanted to cut out added sugars. Like right now, I'm about 6'3", or at the time I'm 6'3", 205 pounds. I'm just looking to lose a little bit of unnecessary body fat. So in the month of February, I did a diet, and it was no added sugars, and I couldn't eat. I kind of took in a little bit of intermittent fasting, and I just didn't eat. So I didn't eat breakfast. So I'd only eat after noon, and it was good, man. I lost 11 pounds in the month, and I did a little calorie deficit too. So I lost about 11 pounds that month. I dropped all the way down to 194. And for the first time in my life, I actually was able to see um, a little bit of abs coming in, which is nice. I still kind of see him now. So ever since, I've kind of been doing that too. I think I do eat added sugars now. Like in April, I've been eating a bunch of added sugars. Well, not a bunch, but just not as much as I used to. And I've been eating a lot of fruit, man. Fruit's like it's a superpower, bro. You eat fruit, uh, apples, pineapples. Fruits do different things. Apples, pineapples, oranges, bananas. It's all those natural sugars. Oh, because when I did the no sugar diet, the way that I would get my sugars was by eating fruit. So I think my like taste palette kind of changed a little bit, because I like, before that diet, I hated anything that was zero sugar, because I would drink zero sugar sodas. So like zero Coke Zero, Pepsi Zero, which are really the only two I would kind of drink. I mean, I tried Baja Blast Mountain Dew Zero, but that shit was still buds, in my opinion. But stuff like that. And then even like, I didn't not like fruit, I just didn't eat as much. And then I started eating fruit like every day, sitting out in the sun, tanning, because the weather was getting better. Dude, my energy just shot up. Like, it was, yeah, it was really good. I like that. I like that diet, and it was a good diet. And I'm still kind of on it. I eat a lot of fruit every day. Um, I do a little bit of a calorie deficit just to kind of, because I did come back in the month of March. I had a little bit of a cheat month, you could say, but sorry, we're back now, eating healthy. Um, yeah, but anyway, going back to what we were just talking about, man. I would, there were times where back then I would eat like pretty poorly, and it didn't stay down all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I would eat a bunch of stuff before practice, or even like a day or two before practice, and then it would come up at practice the next day. I used to play football. This would have been my summer. Would have been the summer of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, and now we in playing football in the summertime in Vegas is it's not fun, bro. It's just not. I never found it fun. I actually hated all the practices that I went to, but because it was just so hot, bro. And then like eventually, once you put it, to start, you didn't even have pads on. But then once you put pads on, it was just so bad. I remember this one instance. My friends came over and maybe the weekend before the Monday practice, and me and my friends, we used to eat like shit. We used to eat so bad, but it didn't matter, But so I think that weekend, that Saturday, I had 2 entire Little Caesars pizzas by myself. Shout out to Little Caesars, love Little Caesars. But that Monday, we ended up going to practice, and we were doing conditioning drills, and it wasn't even that bad at conditioning. It was like just little cone agility drills, and then I just remember doing them, and I was done, bro. My stomach was turning inside out. I was on the floor. I got through the workout, but then once we got to the weight room after we were out on the field doing agility work, I threw up all over all up in the trash can. Threw up, and I threw up those 2 entire pizzas, bro. And I have never really thrown up like I threw up that day. It was pretty bad, but yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, it definitely was not my worst throw up story. I think, yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. I'm sorry if you're like eating food right now or anything, but there's definitely a worse time, and I think anybody that's had food poisoning can attest to those throw ups are no fun, because not only are you throwing up, but there's also probably an 80% chance that while you're throwing up, you're also shitting. Seriously, I remember this one time I had food poisoning from Starbucks. From a Starbucks sandwich that I had like, I don't know, a couple hours before, and then I was out and about, got home later that night, and then I was cool. Boom, it just hit. Now I need to throw up, so I go throw up. But then as I'm throwing up, like, damn, I kind of need to shit. So there was a point in time where my ass was in the toilet. I was shitting with my head over the bathtub, shitting and projectile vomiting at the same time because of food poisoning, bro. Food poisoning is no joke. And you know what's crazy is I don't know if that story sounds crazy to you guys, but I know people that it's happened, like the same thing has happened to them. I had a buddy of mine. We were playing basketball in LA, and we were coming back. And then on the way back, we stopped by Burger King, which, first mistake, never stop by a Burger King. Burger King is not good, but it was the only thing around, so all right, we'll go get some. So he goes in. It's me, him, and one of my teammates. He eats his food. He ate a chicken. And this is no diss to Burger King, but I mean, bro, I have never had Burger King since he told me this story personally. And then, yeah, we got home, and then the next day he calls me up and he's like, bro, I'm so sick. And then he told me the same thing. He was projectile vomiting while shitting simultaneously at the same time. Absolutely crazy, man. Food poisoning is no joke. I think in terms of like getting sick, there's only been a few times where I've felt like dying, and it's food poisoning is one of those times where I felt like it was genuinely gonna be the end. other than that, I think like every time I get the flu, bro. Like I know people say that men over exaggerate like when they get the flu. We don't. Like I feel like every time I get the flu, I'm sitting right here in this bed for like 2 or 3 days. I don't eat anything. I feel like I need to throw up. I have no energy. I can't even get up to like get my phone. I don't have energy to get my phone or send a text out. I mean, even that was one thing. One thing that I never really understood about COVID. My personal experience with COVID. I think I had COVID twice, and both times, I think the first time I had a sore throat and maybe a headache, but that was about it. Every other time, I think it wasn't anything. I was asymptomatic, and like it was crazy because I just remember at the start of COVID when you would turn on the news and it's like, oh, we needed ventilators and we had Ford making all these ventilators because people would get this virus and they couldn't breathe and everybody was dying and A, B, and C. Now, I do know people personally who died from COVID, but I thought it was interesting how the progression of it, like it was so bad to start. Like, it was genuinely a concern. Like, you would turn on the news. I don't know if it was just fear-mongering tactics or what, but you would turn on the news. People are dying. We didn't have enough rooms in the hospitals. We needed ventilators. We needed companies to help us make machines to help us breathe. But, a few months later, it was just your common cold and your common flu. I mean, I know my brother had it, and all he did, he kind of lost his sense of smell and taste for a little bit. Some people lost their taste for a long time, which was interesting. I know one of my coaches, he lost his taste, and I don't know if he ever got it. At least for as long as I was in high school, which was 2 years, he never had his taste back. And he, yeah, that was pretty abnormal. But yeah, I think that's about it for this episode, guys. I'm going forward. I think I want to do an episode where I'm talking, and I'll probably talk more about like quarantine and COVID-19 and stuff like that in another episode, because there's a lot to go over. That was a big part of life. But that's really all I got for this episode. I appreciate all of y'all for watching. If you made it to the end, one thing I want to do, you'll see on my TikToks or my Instagram, if you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to answer on the podcast, or any comments that you would like me to give notice to, just put a comment down below. If it's on YouTube, or if you're watching a clip on TikTok, throw a comment in there, and I'll respond to it in the next podcast. Other than that, I think hopefully my next I'm going to keep uploading weekly. Like I said, I know in the last one I said I'd upload weekly, and now I uploaded 2 times this week. But I'm definitely going to upload weekly. But, sometimes you might get lucky, and I might drop 2 or 3 episodes a week. We'll see. So just be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching. And that's all I got for this episode. Appreciate y'all. See y'all on the next one.